everyone. Thank you for coming and joining me on my YouTube channel. My name is Amy and this is Hudson Valley Tarot. I am going to talk to you today about something kind of exciting, at least for me. I have been spending a lot of time trying to build up my Instagram account. I have a personal one, but I decided to create a Instagram account just for tarot, and I did that, and it sat there for a while. So recently I'm like, all right, I'm doing it, so what should I put up there? Do I just post pictures of pretty cards, or I didn't want it to be just pictures of cards with the crystals and all these stage photos, which are fine. I want it to be like a mix of tarot in action and inspirational messages, like really uplifting inspirational messages. So what I started doing, I'm getting to what today's going to be about. What I started doing was I started doing 1-minute reels of mostly 3-card reading. I record the reading, and what I'm doing is I leave the cards out there, and I'm doing for sometimes a couple of minutes, I'm just zoning in on the cards, connecting with my higher self, with my guides. But I'm connecting with source, I guess we could say, and I am bringing in the message. When I see the cards, I do get, as I'm drawing them, I'm like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, So I have like these initial messages, which are very important when you're doing a reading, to stick with the first thing that pops in your head, even if it is not in line with the actual meaning of the card. You go with what you get when you pull that card over. Sometimes a particular element of the card will stick out to you, like just one symbol in the card, or sometimes you just get these messages. It reminds you of someone or something. Many different ways. So that's how I read, and that's just my style. And then I just kind of get quiet and I let any messages come down, and I do my prayer too. Like I don't know about you all, but before I do a reading, I ask that it be for that person's greatest good and the greatest good for everyone involved. And I ask Source to allow me, I have the prayer of St. Francis right here on my wall, and that has been my prayer since I was a young adult. I came across this prayer and I'm like, yes, that's what I want my life to be. I kind of say, allow me to be an instrument of thy peace. And then I let the messages come. All right, so that takes about 5 minutes. And then what I do is I take those messages and I type them out. So when I read them, it's very fluid and understandable, and I'm not throwing in, all those extra words that you guys get here in these videos, because they're pretty spontaneous. But I do type it out and read it into, over with a voiceover, and then I just publish it to Reels, and it's been wonderful. So I hope that it's bringing the right message to the right people somewhere out there in Instagram land. I also have been uploading them to, I have a Facebook page for Hudson Valley Tarot that I've been uploading them to. And I'm going to start, so there's, as of me recording this, I think there's 2 down there now. I'm about to upload another one, but I'm going to recycle the ones I've already done. and post them as YouTube shorts. So if you guys are interested, I would love some attention and tell me what you think. I would love some comments and really, really would just appreciate the interaction if you want, you know, no pressure there. But that's what I've been doing and I love it. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to share some of that excitement. I know I've been talking for a while, so just hang in there, but I do read for myself, and like you probably, I love to read tarot, what I love to do, but I've not been reading professionally now for at least 5 or 6 years, I think. So this has given me an opportunity to read for someone other than myself while I try and get my tarot business established again. And it's been wonderful. And I really feel like hopefully I'm reaching out and helping people and providing some guidance somewhere. And the other thing is, for the deck collector in me, is every time I do it, I use a different deck. And it's been amazing to really use all these beautiful decks I have in my collection of about 250 decks. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to, just for the videos posted so far, show you the decks I've used and talk about the decks a little. And I think I'll do this every so often and just share with you some of the different decks from my collection. I have quite a few that I've recorded and edited already but haven't posted yet, so I'm going to save them for another time. So I'm going to start with the very first one. This is, the first reading I put up was with this very precious and close to my heart Gaian limited edition tarot. It's the Gaian Tarot by Joanna Powell Colbert, and I don't know if she goes by the Colbert anymore, but at that time she did. And it's her limited edition, which is beautiful. And this was a deck, I think I've talked about it in my top 10. I'm sure I did, actually. It came with this extra card, which I love, and developed a spread based on this quote. And you can see that on my Hudson Valley Tarot website if you want to check it out, but feel free to use it. Here is the deck. So I also have the Llewellyn version, but this is by far my favorite. It is held up beautifully. Here's how the backs look in this version. This version was self-published, and it has been a regularly used deck for both myself and clients. So it has been shuffled by other people and used frequently. It's much better, I would say, than color-wise than my Llewellyn one. And I like the borders better. And I like how the back came out better. I like everything about this better. But the other one is still, the Llewellyn is really good. I haven't seen the Schiffer one. Schiffer decks are hit or miss for me, but I think for the most part I would have to say they disappoint me, but I'm just happy sometimes to get decks out there. So thank you, Schiffer, for publishing decks and giving them a chance to be out there. So here is the first one I did. I titled that, and you should be able to find them on my Instagram, but I titled the reading, I didn't title this one. So I've been titling them and giving them and using that as actually as a hashtag, but here's the cards I drew. And yeah, if you want to see it, actually, maybe I can try and put this up as a short, or maybe I'll put all of these up as shorts eventually, but check out my Instagram. So that was the first one I did with this very, very special deck. It's one I reach for, especially for, between this one and the Tarot of Prague are the two I use most for my self readings. But I do use others. But This is great. This is so great to be able to use all my decks. So that's number one. The second one. Okay, so this was with Oak, Ash, and Thorn. Who doesn't know Oak, Ash, and Thorn? I have the Kickstarter edition with the hand-dyed spread cloth, which was upcycled material. And honestly, I would say the colors in mine are kind of drab and dreary, but it's okay. It's the thought that counts. But anyway, here's the deck. I think she's coming out with a mini soon. And so far, though, this is the only deck of hers I own. And honestly, for me, it's not the best readable deck for me, but I do like to use it, and I would never get rid of it because I love it. I do have an extra copy, and with all the extras, if you're interested in a Kickstarter edition with the extra card for authenticity and the extras. But here are, let's see, I don't know if I shuffled them back into the deck. No, I didn't. Here's the cards I drew for this reading. Nope, they were both right side up. All right, so these are the two cards. Oops, do I have one upside down? Yeah. Yes. So anyway, this one came out really great. I stopped at 2 cards. But I think for the most part, I do most of them with 3 cards. And I loved how it shuffled for jumpers. It's a great jumper deck. And yeah, so this reading was really good. It talked about making important milestones and taking on too much at once, starting too many different things, and how to stay focused. So again, and even for myself personally, all the readings I've done have spoke to me personally as well. So it's been very beneficial for me in that way as well. And really, I have to say, it's the first time I really used Oak, Ash, and Thorn for a reading. I've looked through it many times. I've wanted to love it, but I've never felt like the images were very good as far as capturing the meaning of the cards. But honestly, it read beautifully when I did the 2-card reading, so I'll definitely be coming back to this. And I have left it on my little shelf there for easy access, because I was very pleasantly surprised at how well the reading came out. And I would have never known if I wasn't doing this, right? It would have been in the closet in the other room. I have a cabinet there, and it was just sitting in there, never used. So I love the art, but I had the feeling the readability wasn't good, but I was wrong. So that was the second one I put up. Here's one that I love that, again, doesn't get much use. I have done readings with this, a few for myself, but not very many. So it was really great to use it again. And here it is, Cosmic Tarot. So this, I have 2 copies of it. This is the AGM copy. Box is a little beat up, but the cards stay really good. The cards stay in really good shape. And what's nice is the cards that I pulled, no, not for this one though. So the cards I pulled for this were 2 of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and 3 of Cups. And I must have shuffled them back in because I'm not seeing them. Yeah, I did do another reading with this, and I got the 6 of Wands. It's not one that I posted, but this was one of them. So I got the Ace of Pentacles in the middle. I'm going to hold it aside so you can see the 3 cards I got together if I find them. Yes, and this one I got. And then the other one was the 2 of Cups. And as you're probably guessing, it was definitely a romantic relationship reading. Isn't that a beautiful Hermit card? Get a little closer. Oops, that should not be in there. Let's see. Ooh, I love that Wheel of Fortune. Oh, this is a beautiful deck. And I think it's coming back a little in popularity. I've seen it a lot more. Oh, yeah. Two of Cups. So let's show you all three together, and you can see why this turned out to be a very romantic reading. There's Two of Cups. Oops, the other way around. This is messed up. So here is the reading. Two of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, and Three of Cups. I mean, how could this not be a relationship reading? So that was third. So let's go to the next one. Oh, this was also another 2 card. Oh, here it is right on top. This is my Fae Tarot by Lo Scarabeo. This is, I think this was one of my top 10. If not, it was the next 10. You can see my video there to check in on that. But here's the 2 cards I pulled. Hangman and the Wheel of Fortune. Now, to draw 2 majors when you're doing a 2 card reading is very significant. So you have to look at this reading with reverence. And it was I also had a sense of caution when I did this reading, and the need to slow down, the need to think about the consequences of your actions. So, but this deck is an extremely readable deck, and it's so rich. I think I have it upside down. It is so rich in symbolism, and just the depiction is so amazing in this deck. It's just a genius deck, if you ask me. And it has one of the best guidebooks I've ever seen. And it's not, when I say guidebook, I don't think of books like Bunaba Wen's guidebook to her Spirit Keeper. That's a huge encyclopedia. And I guess it technically is a guidebook, but it's so much more. I'm talking about like this. This is a guidebook, right? And I don't have the Fae Tarot one with me. It's in one of these bookshelves. And speaking of guidebooks too, sometimes I do pull the guidebook out. Like I didn't this time, but especially with this deck or very unique decks that aren't Rider-Waite inspired, well, Rider-Waite copies, I like to look at what the author and creator of the deck was thinking, and why are all the eggs here, right? What was their thought when they put these eggs in the Ace of Cups, right? Or is it the Ace? No, it's the 6 of Cups. Why? Right? So I might do that just to enrich the reading, and also it puts it in my head, and there's like different takes you can give on all the meanings of the cards, even when you're using other decks, right? This is an absolute treasure. The Fae Tarot. And let's see, what do we have next? My Precious, the Tarot of Prague. But I didn't pull that out. Let me grab that. Here it is. Okay. It's in, of course, a Tarot of Prague bag from Bubba Studio. And as well, it is with its silk cloth, which is too busy to read on, but beautiful. And I just kind of leave it in the bag. Isn't that beautiful? Has all the cards on it. Anyways, Oh, it's so soft. And I think I keep crystal in the bag too. Yeah. Anyway, here is the deck. And I do, oh, yep. And here are the 3 cards I pulled. They're still, it is 4 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, and 2 of Swords. All upright. I think I titled it Doing Nothing, and you can check it out on Instagram. They're all there, all the reels. And yeah, I would love, and it will be up as a short on YouTube too, but I would love interaction if you all have the time and you wouldn't mind. That would be great. But yeah, so this is a regular reading deck of mine, and I have the first edition, the really beat up first edition, is actually in my purse, which is up here, but across the room. And I love it. It has such a history and an energy. And I do keep it in my purse to have for, you know, readings on the go. But as I said, I do like shuffling and waiting for jumpers. And that one is so old and beat up, it just doesn't do that anymore. It didn't really do it when it was in good shape. So this one, however, this version, which is the latest edition, 3rd edition, I think it came out 5 years ago, it's great for jumpers. And it's beautiful. It's a little bigger. A lot of good things with it. Yeah, so this was the 3rd one. Not the 3rd one, the 5th one, the 5th reading I did. I got 3rd edition and 3rd reading mixed up. Gosh, I love this deck. Such an amazing deck. All right, next. You know, it's a good thing I didn't. I've done a lot more readings and used a lot more decks than I'm going to show you today. It's just they're not all posted yet. I did a great reading with this Chakra Healing Tarot. This is another deck that this was the first time I read with it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a great deck. And her book is great too, and I think I did look at her little book that came with the deck. I understand chakras, and I even work with chakras, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert at it. I do a lot of energy work, but I'm not an expert. So yes, I did kind of peek into her book for this. And let me see, do I have the cards I pulled still out on the other side? No, I must have shuffled them in. But I pulled, what did I pull? 6 of Wands, 10 of Pentacles, and the Magician. And my message was to all the leaders. That was the title of it. But this is a really, really well thought out deck. I was even more impressed when I read her comments from her book. Here's her little white book. It's substantial, and she has a huge presence on Instagram and does a lot of pulls of the day and recommends different ways to use her deck for, you know, self-care. High Priestess. And this is one of the cards I used, by the way. This is the 6 of Wands. This is where I knew it was about that person, and this was representing a leader. Not the typical meaning of the card, but that's what it was for me. And this is actually the second card. The 10 of Pentacles. Right, and you see how she's canopied and protected and grounded. Love this. And then I think this is it. Yeah, the High Priestess, Magician rather. And you see we have 2 chakras being used here. And this is connecting and using all the resources that the universe has for you. This is a great, see, I'm already going. And it's just a really great deck. And I'm surprised we're not seeing it more on all the social media, because I think it's great. I think it's great. So anyway, I think she still sells copies. If you want one, it's a great deck. And I definitely want to use this more, so it's definitely going to stay here in my easy access shelf near my desk. So that is the Chakra Healing Tarot by Malamir Logan. What do we have next? Ooh, this one is an old one. I've had this maybe 10 years. Or is it 20 years? This was a gift from a friend, and she actually, she was a client, a reading client. She came up from New York City to see me to have readings, and I haven't seen her in a long time. Her name was Anne. We're still friends on Facebook. I know she's around, but she was a client that liked to have me read with her deck. So she would bring up her deck, and that's fine with me. I had no problem with that. And I actually started to really enjoy reading with her deck. Let me see if I can read. I can't read it in the picture, so I can't tell you which cards I pulled. You'll have to look at the video. Let me see if it's the... Oh, it is. Oh, yeah. Here they are. Okay. Here's the cards I pulled. This one is the first one, and it is the Five of Swords, this would be, and it's titled Loss. All right, and it's her version of or his version of the Five of Swords. The next one was 13, or Death, which is titled Change, and you can see they have like meanings on the cards, and that change whether they're upright or reversed. And this actually, I don't mind at all when cards have that. It doesn't bother me, and it helps with the reading, or sometimes I just ignore it. It just depends on how I feel. And the last one is Eight of Clubs, which is clubs, I think. Angels was fire. Or wands, and it's organization. Could be clubs. You know what? Let's look in her. The angel category, or clubs, represents spirit. These spiritual guides can help align and balance you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Probably pentacles. The angel cards will assist you in finding the light at the end of the tunnel and realizing that the light has always been inside each and every one of us. The angel cards can inspire us to have faith to move forward to the next opportunity. And yeah, the spades, which was the first card, ancient Asian category, will assist you in understanding the mental process going on in your life. This category deals with all forms of thought, including conscious and subconscious thought. Anyway, this is a really good deck. I really, really love it. And I think it's a he. Todd Hershey is the author. Emmy Ledbetter is the artist. I think he still has a website, but he gives you spreads. First spread. And he gives you a good enough understanding of his take on the cards. And don't forget, there's meanings or keywords on the cards. Here's about the author and more spreads. And he even talks about ways of shuffling. But this is a really good deck. I love it. Let me show you some more up close so you can get a better idea of the type of artwork. It's Guardians of Wisdom Tarot as a gift. So she bought me my own copy. She's also, her and I became friends because she's also a knitting fanatic like myself. So, and she's a great lady. Now, some of these are upside down, and you're going to get the upside down version. And some are upright. Great deck. Magician. Let's look at him right side up. Isn't that great? I love the artwork. I love this kind of artwork. I really do. I love these kind of decks. And I appreciate that the artwork was made specifically for a tarot deck. I have decks that were, the artwork was made and then tried to fit into being a tarot, and some of them are good and some of them are not good. But this one is really good. I love it. And I will be using this more often. See, this deck hasn't been touched for probably since the last time I read for Anne. And it's like, yes, it's a great deck, and it feels so good to use it. It really just feels so good to use it. I can't tell you. And I just want to use all the decks. And this is giving me a way to do so. It also helps me help other people, get myself out there, and hopefully build a business back up again. All these great things, and it's just fun. All right, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. I've been doing this like crazy for 2 weeks. Dark Mansion. This is a really beautiful deck, and I think I watched a YouTube, and maybe I'll have to try and find it. I can't remember who it was, where was it on Instagram? I don't remember, but they talked about how colors play a huge role. Let me see if the cards I choose are on the back. Oh yeah, so here's the cards I pulled. But colors are a big draw for me when I choose a deck. All right, so we chose the Chariot, the Page of Cups, and the Star. I love this deck. It's Tim Burton-like without being creepy. I don't know why. I don't know why I love you like I do. Oh, sorry, I won't torture you, but this is a great deck, and a big part of that for me is the colors. So this reading was called Honor Yourself, and I'll not go into it, but check it out on the website. There's no book with this, so I'm pretty sure I didn't use a little white book. But no need. So this is the kind of deck that I wouldn't need to, because it's very Rider-Waite. And you can totally, what all the symbolism means. 6 of Wands, that's a great one. Emperor. I see this a lot. I follow White Feather Tarot. She does a reading every day, 4 different pick-a-pile readings. She is really good, guys. Just check her out, but she uses this deck a lot. And I already owned it, but that's why I picked it, because I was watching one of her videos that day, and she was using this deck, and I'm like, gosh, that deck is beautiful. I need to use it. So I used it for my daily reading. Look at that. You know what that is, right? It's the Statue of Liberty. Look at this. Such a great deck. I just see, it's the only deck of theirs I own, Taroteca. Because the other decks I felt were, I don't like, I'm going to go off on a tangent here. deck set, everyone has to be beautiful and sexy and white. And that's what I kind of was seeing. And I know there's a couple of angel decks that I find they really annoy me. And I can't help it. Some of, you know, Doreen Virtue decks are like this, where like angels are depicted as sexy white females with big busts. And I'm like, why are you doing that? They're doing it to get people to look at it. It's just, I hate that. And the other two decks were a little like that they're offering. So I haven't gotten another deck from them. And their decks are a little expensive, but the quality is great. And the print job is great. So if you do like that kind of stuff, you should check them out. All right. What's next? Okay. This was special, and I think I just posted it yesterday. I skipped it for a few days. I think I recorded it on May 29th, and I knew what the message was. But honestly, I wasn't sure if I should post it. And I'll share with you guys. I had a channeling experience, an intense one with this reading. Like, you know, I told you I kind of let the messages come in, and it's usually, you know, just feelings and maybe vague message, but this was a clear message. And that this reading was for someone specific. Okay, I found the cards. Here they are. The 9, the very disturbing looking 9 of feathers, the Nightmare card, and yeah. And then the next card was the Son of Cups, where he looks like he's gone, and or maybe having an out-of-body experience. And then the final card was the 5 of Feathers, which is the 5 of Swords. And you can see another kind of disturbing image. And I knew it was about someone that was contemplating doing something harmful. That was, you know, in despair. And immediately I went for my angel cards. These are cards I pull usually just for myself, but for someone that needs healing from the angels. And it's in an angel bag from Bubba Studio, by the way. This is actually one of their little purses, but I took the things off and I use it for this special deck, Angels of Atlantis. It's the angel deck I go to most often. It is by Stuart Pearce and illustrated by Richard Crooks, I think it might be, but the guidebook. I pulled for this person, Jophiel, Raziel, and Shamael, which are here in the back. And I covered the other cards with these, and there was a specific message related to each. And I also did go to the book to see what the message in the book was and added that into mine. Raziel was next, and Shamael was last. So those are the 3 angels. Strongly Jophiel was telling me that the person needed to focus in on the stone in the image. That's what I was told. And it said it in the book too, I believe. But there was a specific message related to each angel for this person. And I was just told to hold a loving space for this person. So I didn't put it up right away because I felt weird doing it. Like, I was like, what will people think? And then I'm like, you know, and then yesterday I felt very strongly that I needed to get it up, and I couldn't put it off. So that's what I did. And it is what it is. message is up there, and I just, you know, and I did hold the space for this person I've been, and hopefully they'll find their message. So that's that one with the I don't think I said Margaret Peterson. Next we have, this is one that I bought more than 10 years ago. It's the Swedish Tarot. I almost was considering selling this. Here are the 3 cards I got. It's very lighter weight for the most part, with little twists here and there, but very readable, because the book it comes with is in Polish. It doesn't have an English version, and I checked again recently to see if maybe over the years something maybe was put online for this. And I see people still use it, but only in Poland. But I love this deck because you can see the energy in the cards. And I'm reading the energy that's depicted in these images. So this is the Queen of Cups, the Five of Cups, and the Wheel of Fortune. And it was about unboxing things. And you can see where I got that from was from this Five of Cups. It was a very intuitive read. But this deck, like I said, it's very blocky, kind of, you know, not fine and beautiful. What I love about the artwork is the gold. This is a great Eight of Wands. It's like, you see, you can get, one fire lights the other, but they burn out so quickly, right? And look at the energy here. This is great if someone needs energy healing. And I don't know why I don't use it more. I really don't. It's fantastic to read. It's really fantastic. If you're an energy worker like me, well, this is a great deck to work with. So, the images are kind of modern, if you will. And I just think they're well depicted. Look at that. It's the Queen of Pentacles. Swedish Tarot. I don't know if it's possible to get this from Poland or not, but if you can get it, I know they have the numbering in the corner up here with the Polish title, but I don't know what that means. If you can get it, you should, because it's a great deck. There's the Lovers. Yeah, beautiful. Oh, look at the Eight of, I can't stop. Look at the Eight of Pentacles. Yeah, great deck. I really enjoyed using it. I want to use it more. And yeah, I think especially with people that are having like energy problems, really good for shadow work too. Energy, shadow work, definitely go together. Justice is bittersweet. I use my Prismavision. I have the Cosmovision too. I love these decks. And again, I haven't used them much, but these decks are fantastic. And here are the 3. Let me get them out. Okay, here they are. Justice, Ace of Wands reversed, and Page of Wands. And the title of this is Justice is Bittersweet. And it was how getting justice is not always good. I mean, it doesn't take away what already happened. And this is kind of like a message to take these things and make them, turn them into something good. Don't get bitter. Don't stay bitter. Take that experience and do good with it. You'll never get your life as you knew it back when you have been given injustice. But again, the Page of Wands is about letting that energy, using that energy in a positive way. So that said, I've always adored this deck. This is the first edition. I forget how we sold it, and I forget how I came across it, but it has the strawberry card in it that I do keep in here. I've used it a few times for myself. I've come really close to getting another version just because this is not my favorite card stock. It's too shiny. You can tell by the reflection. But I love this man's artwork. I actually just bought a piece of artwork from him. I'm going to hang it on my wall. This guy is an amazing artist. Let me put it a little closer. I also have his Cosmovisions Oracle, which is fantastic. But I don't use it nearly enough. So I'm really glad to have had the chance to work with this deck. It's fantastic. And his little white book, and I have like the full fancy hardcover book. It's really good. And it's not expensive. I think his decks are like $40. I guess some people might find his artwork a little busy, but I'm just fascinated with it. And I think it's, again, because I can see the energy in the card, so it's not, I can read the energy around the card just in his painting style. Yeah, so I like that. Okay, next one is the Star. Where are you? There you are. It's in a Tarot Prague moon bag. No pun, you know, I know it shouldn't be in a moon bag, but I don't have a star bag. I guess I should get one, right? I have been enamored with this deck. Oh, let me see. Oh, wait, before I start. Yep, here's the cards in the back that I pulled for that reading. The World, the Six of Cups, and the Six of Swords. Was a great reading too. Time to Move On is the name of it. It just got put up, but you can see how beautiful this deck is. The coloring is pretty good. The cards are a little too big. I can barely get my hands around them, but I mean, this artwork is great. Now, I have a limited edition Majors Only deck that she put out, self-published. Kathy McClelland, I think her name is. Kathy, yeah, McClelland. And I ordered it from her over 15 years ago. And I remember, I think I asked her, would she ever do a full deck? And she said it's just too much work. This is all her artwork, so each card is painted. That's a lot of work. You have to respect that. I mean, there's great decks where the artwork is okay, but you can't compare it to something like this because of what goes into this. It's so much work, but it's a mass market deck. I wish she would have self-published it and done like a really good cardstock and book and box and better coloring, but this is what we got, and I take it. There's a first and second version. They're pretty much exactly the same. There's very little change that I could find. I own them both. I think I sold the extra copy because this is really sturdy cardstock. It's not gonna do anything. I do sometimes refer to the book for this deck. She writes an excellent book, but anyway, I really love and highly recommend the Star Tarot. Beautiful deck. All right, last one. This is getting to be long, and I apologize, but next one won't have as many decks. The next one, and the last one is the Crystal Tarot by Los Scarabeo in this little velvet moon bag. I've had this deck since early on, and let's see, here are the cards I pulled right here. Was right side up, yeah, okay. Ace of Pentacles, King of Swords, and Death reversed. But Golden Opportunity was the name of this one. It's pretty new on Instagram. You should find it high up on the feed. This deck is, it's kind of like a pip deck, but with a little extra. And I'll tell you a little story about this deck. When I lived in New York, I used to go down to New York City at least once a month for a tarot meetup group. There's a bunch of us that met down there in Union Square, and there was a huge Barnes & Noble near there. And I guess what happened was the bookstore we used to meet at, which is still there. What's the name of it? I can't remember off the top of my head. I don't know why I'm forgetting it. It's like at the tip of my tongue. But it's down near Union Square, 14th Street. But one day we couldn't use the bookstore for whatever reason. It had like a cafe area upstairs that we used to go to. And I think they had started charging people to go. I don't know. So we're like, you know what? Screw that. We'll go to the Barnes & Noble. So we're in the Barnes & Noble having our tarot meetup. And this woman that was in the store kind of challenged us. So I think one of the points that we're trying to make is that I could read with any deck, you know, and so I just went up and I picked this and I bought it and I sat down and I pulled one card for her or something, and she was like totally she was totally convinced like it would totally change her. It was just one of those things. And it was a pip card too. I think it was like a 4 of Pentacles. I don't remember, but I remember that experience because it was when I first started really reading tarot, and it felt good to know that my reading really had an impact. So it was kind of one of those memories that stuck in my head. I had another experience like that in a train on the way to New York City. I was going down to do a read cards at a corporate Christmas party. So I was all dressed up and I was going towards the city, and he's like, and it was the end of the work day, and he's like sitting next to me on the train, and he's like, oh, where are you all dressed up going to? I'm like, going to a Christmas party. I'm going to be working at one. And he's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm going to read tarot cards at a Christmas party. And he's like, I'm like, it's just for entertainment. I'm just trying to keep my cool. And I'm like, for instance, and I take out my deck and I shuffle it a few times and I pick one out. I think it was the 4 of Wands. And I said something and I just like let the message come out. And it was something about starting a new business, off to a good start, and yada, yada, yada. And he was like, he couldn't believe it. He's like, I just started a new business with my son. We're really trying to get it off the ground, blah, blah, blah. And I pulled another card for him, and he's like, I would really like to see you again and get a full reading. How can we do this? And I'm like, well, you know, I work in White Plains, blah, blah, blah. We can meet there after work or during my lunch hour. I can meet you somewhere. And we did, like, for, I'd say, he became a regular client. It was really exciting. I love when things like that happen. And so don't be afraid. Just do it. That's it, guys. That's a lot. I'm going to try and edit this because I'm at 1 hour and 6 minutes. I'm going to try and make this shorter. And I will definitely do this more often if you like it. I hope you like it. I love talking about it. And I'll just show you all the decks that are in the videos. And maybe you can enjoy that. So thank you again for watching. And I will see you next time. Bye.